Hello, people. It's a beautiful day here in the studio. And of course, we have juicy updates for you. And I have my regular guest and co-host in the studio. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so if you have been following the news, you will know that there's a legal battle concerning the will and property of late Herbert Wigwe, the CEO of the former, because he's late, the former CEO of Access Holdings. You know, we see these things happen almost very regularly. You know, someone dies and then there's a legal tussle between family, you know, about concerning the will and properties. And this is not even just his family, it's also concerning his friend in his former workplace. So today we are going to be giving you all the details that you didn't know. So let's get into it. Sir, let's get into it. What do you say to these things?
It's just to address some areas of concerns, especially for a lot of people who do not understand what the real issues are in this case. Because we've seen a lot of misrepresentations. People who don't have detailed information on what is happening, and then doing the blame game as usual, quickly jumping to a conclusion that the late Wigwe's business partner, Haigumukere, is trying to take over his property and all the rest. And unfortunately, again, if it was only Herbert that died, maybe it would have been easier to resolve these issues and say, okay, the wife, Doreen, is alive, the 29-year-old son, Cheze, too, is around, and then they can make certain pronouncements. But then there is another daughter who can't be ignored because she has been in the picture even before Herbert died. And that's Tochi. He's 26. So, like I said, the case is in court.
Yes.
And what we are just going to do is to look at what those court documents are saying and what is happening within the family without actually touching on the meat of that case, because it's left for the court to decide. So, but for somebody like me who has done a couple of stories on the death of Wigwe, I knew there was a time there was a debate about the number of children he had. In some reports, you could see 4. In some, you could see 5. And then at some point, it became confusing. Are they talking of 5 minus the one who died, or 4 plus the one, you know, it was like, and then the picture became clearer with what developed, because at some point, reports started saying he had 5 children, meaning that there was a collapse of the number of children.
Surviving children.
Yes, whether late or surviving, we got 5. So at 5, 3 were more in the news than 4, meaning that 1 was on the side that and we were not told in any of his CVs that he had 2 wives. We weren't told that.
Yes. So
then it gives you an impression, okay, maybe there is a child on the outside. So And then we now have this court case that gave a clearer picture to it, that tended towards another mother in the picture. But we are not seeing the mother at all, because obviously there must have been an agreement or whatever has happened. I'm not sure anyone can say this is the mother of this child, or where this is where the mother is, and all the rest, and all the rest. So, and that is the real cause of this conflict, which a lot of people are confused about. While we were told that there was a will somewhere in the US which took care of the 5th child. Now they are 4 in the US. That will was brought into Nigeria for what, in layman's terms, so that we don't begin to talk about all this legal language, ratification by the court that this is the will Herbert left behind. On the family side, the father and some other people in the family are saying, see, yes, this will is available somewhere, but we don't know about it.
Okay.
Number 2 is we want administrators to be put in place, not just one man. That is referring to Egg now, doing the administration of the property of the late Herbert. That's what is in court. That's the contention. And what I see there is that for a lot of people, the issue of a child who is not from Doreen is not the contention. That is what a lot of people are fighting now. It is about the fact that Egg, who is his business partner, should not be the one to superintend over his will and property. I've always argued, and I'm still going to stay there, that in all of this, everybody, excluding those of us who are, the family, the friends, the relatives, they might have all that they have against Egg managing it. But one thing I know is, I don't see Egg showing interest in the Wigwe's property because he wants to corner it. He's also a rich man, equally rich.
I don't agree.
Equally rich. I know people say in this part of the world that even when a man is rich, he's not satisfied with what he has. Yes, I agree with you. But it is not, in my own opinion, to the extent of wanting to corner the man's property. Perhaps they have other reasons for saying that. But that's why I said, in my own opinion, and seriously so, because I look at it from the point of, there was no senior partner among those two people when they were going to start Access Bank. They were both equal partners, meaning they have the money. And it was not as if when Egg left Access Bank to do other things, he fell into poverty. He was also doing well, in as much as the banking and religious sector shot Wigwe more into the limelight than Egg. But he was there. Just like Wigwe was running his own business, he was also doing well. And he was in the media. Though the bank, growing in leap and bounds, put him ahead in terms of visibility, especially in the media. And the good news, towards the period he was going to die, was that Access Bank, even in the process of transforming into a holding company, had very superb media team. They were the middle head of that thing. One of the core people there is late now. And we are beginning to see a drop in the media relations of Access Bank or Access Holdings as a whole. But at the time he was going to die, it was at its peak in terms of visibility. I mean, the bank and the holding. The transition period from having different companies, and then you have different this, different that, into the holding was properly captured in the media and in the public space. So for me, I see that as what people are not looking at. Egg is not a poor man.
Okay.
Seriously. Well, a lot of people always see it from the angle that he's not rich, he wants to. No, I don't see it from that angle. What I see, and seriously so as I discuss with people, is a lot of us in Africa, especially Nigeria, we don't prioritize updating our will. I have one. I'm not sure I've gone back there in the last 5 years to do anything about it. I have not called my lawyer to say, okay, these are the things I've also acquired.
Exactly.
In the last couple of years. And I've not called the lawyer to say, okay, I've changed my mind about the administration of that will and my estate. I've not done that. So that's what I see missing here. And there is somebody who is saying, see, when you do your counting in terms of children, count properly. Don't leave one person out. And I think that is where the difference is between the family and I. My own opinion.
Well, don't you think there's something funny about the will that is being showcased, so to say? Because to start with, it's a will that is dated 2013, and it's also, it's been brought from the US, and the jurisdiction is within that place and for the properties of that place. So what happens to, this place? And I don't want to believe that could have been, or that is his final will, because it does not include his properties and everything he has here.
You see, it's just what we have said now. Did he update that will? Did he do another one? Did he register it in Nigeria? Those are issues that a lot of times, when you follow the man's kind of life, you see he's a man who enjoyed life while he was here. I'm sure you must have read through where he was going.
Exactly,
when that happened. He was going for a fun thing, not as if he just needed to cool off. And he was going for a fun thing, not strictly business. Yes, we may not know it all. It could be that he has investment in that team he was going to watch. It could also be that in between, he wanted to discuss maybe getting shares. You know, anything could have happened. But he's a man who is full of life.
But a
Even
man of
his own staff.
standing,
Yes,
he should
I agree
not-
with you. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we forget. We overlook. You know, we get too busy with other things. And then we don't look in that direction. But it's not as if even the family is saying completely we disagree with that, we throw it away, dump it in the bush, and all the rest. They're only saying, see, somebody is the custodian of this paper. Can we put administrators in place? That's the contention now. And that is what the court is dealing with. So, in looking at all of those things, I'm also, and seriously too, on the side of those who have argued, let there be administrators.
Yes, that's what
I agree with them. The only, like I said earlier, the only thing I don't agree with is people insinuating that there is an ulterior motive behind what Egg is doing. You know, and then that is where the family issue also comes in. When a man dies and a woman shows up from nowhere, there can be contestation.
Definitely.
But when a man dies and you already know that somebody exists somewhere as a child, even if not living with you, if not from the same mother or the person in marriage, you know, then that's, for me, is almost a non-issue. Because families, especially the extended ones, should have realized by now that you cannot, when a man dies, base your expectation of continuous existence on that man. He might have been everything to you. He might have been everything to you when he was alive. He was taking care of this, taking care of that, bearing everybody's body. In fact, some have been asking, the house that he built and opened 2 months before he died, what was he going to do with such a big place? And the simple answer I gave to people at that time was, you don't know how much of a family person he is. Maybe it's somebody who wants, when it is Easter, everybody come to my house. You must all get a room to sleep. But at the point where the man exits, we shouldn't, like I said, it's just my own thinking, make it look like we must continue to live that way. Everybody should quickly fashion out a way and say this one is gone. Because what people do a lot of times is this. Once they have a source of income, which is not theirs, it's somebody who gives them the money. They spend like there is still a tomorrow.
Of course. Because the person,
That's what we do. If this man gave me 5,000 naira yesterday, he still has the capacity to give me another 5,000 naira tomorrow. What if the man does not wake up tomorrow? So it means every fund that comes to you, you must manage as if there is no tomorrow. And that's where the problem comes in. That's where it kicks in. People who believe that the family still owes him or her something after the exit of the person providing that service. It's a major issue.
Do you think this is an African issue?
It is, of course.
Because it's usually
It's an African thing.
In Africa, you know, people just, we've heard a lot of cases, maybe because he's, you know, someone well known. If not, because I'm sure there are lots of cases that we don't even hear about. Once the person
there are so many
that
there are so many
questions asked.
There are so many we are about. Why are women in court till now over this family, over this inheritance laws that we have in Nigeria. Why are they in court? It's simply because in a situation where the man dies, the family wants to take over and say, we only married you in. And they want to take over the property. So, so it's a matter of reorientation. It's a matter of reorientation. It's something that is not directly linked to it, but which I'm beginning to like, is the position of President Donald Trump on marriage, where a lot of women in the US are getting married to rich men, or even the not so rich, believing that if anything goes wrong, they are going to get, and they make sure that something goes wrong so that they can get out of the property. We should begin to win ourselves of this dependent mentality. It's just my own opinion. Nothing
it's not
to
even
do with what is
in my concern is not so much for the women, it's the children.
Yes.
Because it's the children that suffer the most.
And that's what people have been talking about.
That's
what they have been talking about. The children.
Especially a man of his standing. When you have children, or at the birth of every child, I think you should just put and just say, okay, this child, this is yours, this is in trust for you, or this is yours, and it is written down and everything. So if anything even happens tomorrow, we know that, okay, this belongs to this child, this belongs to this child, especially when you have so many children, you have, more than 4 children, because we've even seen in cases where it's even the children that fight each other, when a parent dies and the parent, has left so much, the siblings that now start fighting against each other. But when it is clear that, okay, this is yours, even before the parent's death, the father's death or anything. So it will be clear that, okay, this is, so there won't be my own opinion.
There are certain routes people are taking now. But before I go into that, let's see what the family of the Wigwes, that's the father now, Shengo Wigwe, and those who are with him, this is what they are saying to the court, and which is, in my own opinion, legitimate. See, they say there is a difference between preservation and inheritance. The refusal to grant preservative reliefs has left the estate vulnerable to potential dissipation before a final decision is made, meaning that people can dissipate it. And that's the fear on the side of Egg now. And that's why I'm saying on his own side, I stand with him, because I know he will not dissipate.
You can't really know.
No. I'm just saying it. And I want to give him that benefit of the doubt. He's not a man who wants to... How many years of reputation does he want to go and drag in the mud over what? I'm sure if a man of his standing does not walk again until he dies, he has what he's going to survive with. And at the level at which he's living now. These are guys who made their money long ago, not in this rough economy. They are also saying that the trial court failed to appoint interim administrators, which I support.
Yes.
I said it. I support that, so that everything is clear to everybody that we are all involved in this, even if Ed is going to be at the head of that.
Exactly.
Everybody is looking at it clearly. Despite acknowledging the dispute over the validity of the will, which they are contesting. Thus violating Section 2(4) subsection 1 of the Administration of Estate Law of Lagos State, 1959, which allows the appointment of administrators in such cases. The failure to appoint interim guardians for the deceased minor children deprived the grandparents of the opportunity to temporarily participate in their care and welfare. Additionally, they argue that a previous decision by a magistrate court, which granted full guardianship of the minor children to their eldest sibling, Otutochi Wigwe, who is 25, was made without notice to the grandparents. These are issues of family, which I touched on. Family must be together in instances like this, but not over will, not over property, not dissipating energy. They clarified that the application was not to overturn the magistrate's decision, but to ensure the grandparents are included as co-guardians to support the children's well-being.
Of course.
And also, when you go back and you look at who is this grandparent, especially the father, he's not a pushover. He's not a man who needs even about money to survive. He's well-to-do. All you need to do when, like I always tell people, when in doubt about somebody, all you need to do is go to your phone and Google the name. Where is this person coming from? Then you'll be able to have an idea of who the person is. So it's not as if Pastor Shegwe is fighting over money. That's not what he's doing. He's just saying there are children, little ones there. We should have
but
some kind of control.
Yes.
Or some kind of involvement
that they will be, the guardianship will be given to the grandparents.
Well, don't forget, they have a brother. Even if you don't want to give them to the lady, they have a brother who is 25. When my own dad died, we have at the top of our family a lady who was already married. Right in front of me was my brother who was already married. I was not married as the third, and we had 3 others behind me. All the 3 came to live with me. You understand? So it's not that a 25-year-old can't take care of those children. He should be able to have 3 people living with me. But the family wants to be involved, which is not bad.
Which is good, yes.
Because a 25-year-old will provide food, but what about the other aspects of life, the emotion,
stability, and she's even female,
and all the rest. So that must also be put in context. But it's, like you said, an African thing for us to make it look like there will always be a problem when the breadwinner dies. It shouldn't be. And in this case, 2 things are crucial for me. Number one, it's the decision of the court. But I don't think it's bad for the good of everybody involved to have administrators. No one person should take, not even a family member, as a sole person should take over the affairs of a man when he's gone. Not one. We even if the wife had not died, we've seen it in families where they throw the wives out.
Yes, true.
They throw them out, all in a bid to control and have access to the property. So for me, that part is crucial. The family should have control over those things, especially where there is this dispute. Especially where there is this dispute. Everybody should, instead of this litigation, come together and not allow this issue to drag on for too long. And not allow the man's name to be dragged this way after his death. We've seen families of big men, not even having any child outside, that have been in turmoil since the death of so many of them that we don't need to start mentioning names. Big men, senior lawyers, big businessmen. And then that brings me to a story that somebody told me. It happened here in Nigeria, here in Lagos. That some children came and told their father or asked him, "Why are you selling your property?" He had a lot of houses in Lagos. As soon as he sells one, he will divide the money. This child, that child, that child, that child, and give to them. So they now came and asked him, why are you selling your property? Don't you want to leave anything behind for us? He said, well, I will not leave anything behind for you. I'm giving you your inheritance now.
No.
So go and make good use of it.
Exactly.
Because when I am sure that I'm close to dying, the house in which I will be living at that time, I'm going to sell it and go and rent a house and give you people the proceeds from that house. So that you people, when I'm gone, you will have any reason to fight. Because I would have made provision for my own burial. And none of you will have to pay one kobo to bury me.
Wow.
So you won't even be saying, it should be this, that. You didn't get more money when the man was alive. That won't happen. I would have made the provision for it. Any other thing people decide to do after is your business. And that's what some of these things are bringing people to now. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. Because even if these things had been left maybe to even the children, who knows if there will be crisis? And we shouldn't allow the name of a man who a lot of people are eulogizing till now to be dragged this way.
I hope that they are able to sort it and sort it fast, not just for the sake of whether the properties, but for the sake of the children. That's what I'm particular about, because we still have minors among them. So, and they'll be seeing all this that is going on and then be wondering and all that. And some were even insinuating that, his father wants to, I'm talking about Herbert Wigwe's father now.
Yes.
His 90-year-old father, that he wants to inherit his son's
but like I told you, we've gone beyond that stage. Exactly. Especially when you look at the age and the background of the man.
Yes.
It's somebody a lot of us are proud of. We don't, like I said of Egg also, I don't have any doubt in my mind that he doesn't want to take over anybody's property. So what will the father, who is comfortable in his own right, but mourning his son, with whom he has been sharing very fond moments before he died, now wants, what does he even want to do with the money? He's comfortable on his own. Egg is comfortable. It's just a matter of reaching a compromise and saying, see, yes, if there's a 26-year-old somewhere, we also have a 25-year-old. Let them come together and take over their father's property and businesses. If those children don't have interest in the line their father has told, you can't force them to.
You can't, actually.
You can't. Allow them to be who they want to be. But sort this problem out and let everybody be happy. Let us live, let them live forever. How do you put it in those? Let them live happily ever after. So I think for me that's important. So that nobody is accusing anybody of wanting to take over property that they don't even need. Like I said, both the father and Egg don't need those things.
Don't need it.
They don't. It's just that both have different views and positions on those things. Let's take care of these children the proper way. That is what the father is saying. This man is saying, see, everybody must be covered in this equation. So for me, I see them as differing on issues that are beneficial to those children.
To the children.
Yeah. It is how they are now going to resolve the difference in view. That is what they need to. That is what they need to. Well, like we said earlier, it is important for every man who is married to ensure that every year there is an update to their will.
Yes.
This is what I want to go to this person. This is what I want to go to this person.
Yes.
This is how I want
to be clear.
To be buried. This is where I want to be buried. This is what you should do for my burial.
Exactly. And I also think that the will should have more than one copy.
No, once you even register it
so
in a
it
court.
can't be that it's just, okay.
Once you register it in a court, once it is stamped by a lawyer, the seal put on it, and you register it in a court, you don't need to put copies everywhere. Because the only one in the court is the one you go and take and do the certified true copy, CTC.
But that's if the people left behind know that there's something at the.
That's why I'm saying it is important now for people to do that. It is. I'm sure if you go out on the street now and you do the usual vox pop and ask, have you written your will to even a 60-year-old man? How do you want to die? How do you want to kill me? Back to sender. That is what you are going to hear. Even for a 60-year-old man, a 70-year-old, that's what you are going to hear. As if death will tell them the day before they are going to die, or you quickly write your will and take it to court. And there are forms now that have made it very easy to put in all of those things. These are the things that I have. These are the people I want to manage my estate when I'm gone. Even if it's your wife you want to put as the sole administrator, you put it there. If it's your son or daughter, you put it there. If it's a body you want to put in place, it will be there. Everything is going to be there. Who's going to administer it? But in this case, where something happened and we are talking about a will of 2013.
2013.
It's a long way away. We don't know whether there's one.
CEO then, a lot has changed between.
We don't even know whether there's another one somewhere.
Exactly, because that was just for the US. So what about the ones for the properties here
in Nigeria? So we'll wait. Perhaps
we wait.
Like the average Nigerian, the man thought, even if I die, my wife will be around. We always think that way.
And then his son.
A lot of us will always say, I will die before my wife.
Never would have
Nobody
thought that three of them could go like that.
Exactly. So, well, we thank God for his life. He lived a good life.
Yeah.
An impactful one at that.
That's the important thing.
Very impactful. So.
Okay, so that's all we have for you for today. I hope this story ends well. Be sure that we'll definitely bring you the updates, the proceedings from the courts, whichever way it goes, we'll definitely let you know. So don't forget to like and share this video, and also subscribe so you get notifications when we come back with that update. And also follow us on all our social media handles at The Eagle Online. Let's see you. Bye.
Bye.